Have you ever felt like you weren't just marrying a man, but his mother too? Because that's exactly what happened to me. My name is Emma, and I thought I had found my perfect match. John. We had a love story straight out of a high school. Romance novel, full of ups and downs, breakups and reconciliations. John was kind, supportive, and always put me first. Unless his mother was involved. His mother, Debbie, wasn't just overprotective. She was the kind of woman you see in movies, the type who believes no one is good enough for her son. From the moment she found out about me, she tried everything to sabotage our relationship. She set him up with other women, whispered poison into his ear, and even convinced him once that we were too young for love. But we always found our way back to each other. Then John proposed. It should have been the happiest moment of my life. But instead of celebrating, I found myself standing at the edge of a nightmare. His mother refused to attend our engagement party. She ignored all our wedding plans. And then she came up with the most absurd demand I had ever heard in my life. She wanted to wear a white wedding dress at my wedding, while I, the bride, wore pink or lavender. And the worst part? John thought it was a fair compromise. Debbie had been meddling in our relationship from the start. When we were teenagers, she convinced John that we were too young for serious love. When we broke up for college, I thought it was a mutual decision, but later I learned the truth. His mother had orchestrated the entire thing. She spent years parading women in front of him, hoping he would fall for someone she approved of. She set him up with girls from her church, her workplace, and even her friends' daughters. But no matter how many times she tried, John kept coming back to me. When we rekindled our relationship, Debbie reacted as if I had cursed her son. She cried actual tears and claimed that I had bewitched him. I should have known then that this woman would never accept me. 3 months ago, John proposed. I was overjoyed, imagining a beautiful future with him. But Debbie, she acted like it was a funeral. She refused to attend the engagement party. She didn't come to the family dinner where both sides were supposed to meet. She didn't even acknowledge the proposal. It was as if she was waiting, lurking in the shadows, ready to strike when I least expected it. And strike she did. John came home one day looking troubled. Mom said she never got to have a real wedding, he said. She was pregnant with me and had a courthouse marriage. She feels triggered by our wedding. I frowned, confused. Okay. What does that have to do with us? He took a deep breath. She said that if she could wear white and you wore a softer color, like pink or lavender, it would make her feel better about everything. I blinked. You're joking. He wasn't. This wasn't just about a dress. It was about power, control, and humiliation. She wasn't asking to be part of the wedding. She wanted to be the bride, and my fiancé, the man I was supposed to spend my life with, was actually considering it. The fight that followed was unlike anything we had ever experienced. You seriously think this is okay? I asked, my voice shaking. You think it's normal for your mother to wear a wedding dress to our wedding? John sighed, rubbing his temples. It's just a dress, Emma. She feels left out. Left out? I interrupted, laughing bitterly. Of course she feels left out, John, because it's not her wedding. His face hardened. You're making this a bigger deal than it needs to be. And that was the moment I realized something terrifying. John wasn't just ignoring the problem, he was blind to it. He had spent his whole life under his mother's thumb, so much so that he couldn't even see how twisted this was. You're letting her manipulate you, I said, my voice quieter now. And if you don't put a stop to it now, this is how our entire marriage is going to be. John's jaw clenched. You don't understand. She just wants to be part of this. She never had the chance to. Then let her renew her vows with your dad, I snapped. Let her have her own wedding. But this is our day, not hers. For the first time, I saw doubt flicker in his eyes. But he wasn't ready to. Break free, not yet. I didn't sleep that night. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, realizing something terrifying. If I married John as he was now, I wouldn't just be his wife. I'd be the second woman in his life. By morning, my decision was clear. When John woke up, I was already sitting up, watching him. He rubbed his eyes, looking at me warily. "Emma, I know you're upset." I cut him off. "This isn't just about the dress, John. It's about the fact that every time your mother pushes, you bend. I'm not going to spend my life competing with her for my own husband." He sighed. "She's my mom. She just wants to feel included." "Included?" I laughed bitterly. "John, she wants to be the bride. She doesn't want to be included. She wants to replace me." Silence. His jaw tightened, but I saw something flicker in his eyes. Hesitation. Doubt. I exhaled, steadying myself. "If we're getting married, things need to change. You need to set boundaries, real ones. She doesn't get a say in our wedding. She doesn't get to manipulate you into choosing her over me. And you need to talk to someone because this isn't normal." John ran a hand through his hair, his expression unreadable. "You're asking me to go against my mom." "I'm asking you to stand up for your future wife," I corrected. "And if you can't do that, then maybe I shouldn't be your wife." The words hung between us like a loaded gun. John's breath hitched. "Emma, please." "I'm postponing the wedding," I said firmly. "I need to see if you actually mean what you say. If you prove you can put us first, then we move forward, but if you let her manipulate you again..." I swallowed. "Then we both know how this ends." For a long moment, he said nothing. Then slowly, he nodded. "Okay," he whispered. "I choose you." I wanted to believe him, but only time would tell if he truly meant it. The confrontation with Debbie was a disaster. She screamed, she cried, she accused me of brainwashing her son. She even pretended to have a panic attack, gasping for air like an actress in a bad soap opera. But John didn't fall for it. For the first time, he saw her manipulation in real time. He watched as she twisted the truth, as she tried to turn his father and everyone else against him. And when she screamed, "Mothers are forever, wives are not," I saw something break inside him. That night, he told me he was going no contact for now. He booked therapy. He promised me that he would never let her control our lives again. And yet, I still felt uneasy, because I knew that one day Debbie would find a way back in. She always did. And when that day came, would John still stand by me? Or would he go back to being his mother's perfect little boy? I love him, but I also love myself. And if it comes down to choosing between the two, I know what I have to do. Think. You watching, if you were me, would you still marry him, or would you walk away before it's too late? Subscribe for more shocking real-life stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.